Hey, what's going on? Chase Crawford here. I know this is the first episode of this thing, but this is according to the internet, where myself and a guest talk about trending internet topics. Really excited to have Jeremy Hilliard here, one of my good friends and collaborators.
Yo.
We're going to be talking about some fun stuff today. Jeremy, what's up?
How's it going, brother? How you feeling?
A little sick, a little under the weather, but we're committed to this schedule. I wanted to crank this out.
Yeah, you and me both, man. I've rolled up out of bed this morning, late as hell.
Hey, no
Wait,
problem.
Chase, what's our language uses here? Can we curse on this thing?
Yeah, man. Of course,
okay,
of course.
nice.
This is the type of podcast where, like we have now, we have our shoes off. We're just sitting in a room, and we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna have an open conversation about things going on, not only on the internet, but kind of how they relate back to the world and what everyone is saying about those things, including myself and you. So,
Oh, yeah. All right.
so let's get right into it. Jeremy, according to the internet, Apple now offers 32 people on FaceTime in the iOS 12 update that they announced yesterday
So you can FaceTime with up to 32 people at a time.
at the same time.
Wow. Who's ever going to use that?
That was exactly what I said. Now, granted, there will be people who use it to I think maybe 4 people, but after that, everyone's just talking at the same time, right?
It wouldn't even be productive. I mean, Google Hangout, right?
Yeah.
It's the same sort of concept. It's got to be for some sort of corporation or, big business, basically VO conference and stuff like that, right? Because from a technology perspective, there's just no, average user is just never going to do that. But, if you've got, when I used to work back in corporate, we might be doing conference calls with people in India, in Sydney, in America all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You got groups of people all sitting in a room, 7 people per camera. I could see a use where you're breaking maybe half of those people off and maybe you've got 16 people at a time on a group chat. So it could be useful from a very much a big business perspective, corporate perspective.
See, I was thinking it would be more useful from having an intervention on a family member perspective, right? That way you don't have to show up in person. You just all get on a phone. You just all get on a FaceTime. And then they realize, so this is going
Isn't
on
that
right
saying
now.
you really don't care about the person? Like if you don't care enough to show up where they are?
Look, I feel like this might even replace family reunions. You know what I'm saying?
Chase.
There's nothing like cracking open a cold one, sitting back and hopping on FaceTime and chatting it up with your uncle that you haven't seen in 4 years, right?
So fucked, dude. What do you mean?
I think that there's many practical uses, but I think many of the uses people are talking about right now are impractical.
They are. I mean, and I think that's okay, let's talk about Apple then.
And how hot will your phone be if you're on FaceTime with 32 other people?
Yeah.
And how will that show up on your screen? You know what I'm saying?
But Apple over the past
People
few
will be the
years-
size of an emoji if you're talking to them.
Nah, it's got to be some sort of thing where the person whoever's talking, it brings them up, bigger than the other. But 32 people is
Like on
really
Hangouts
confusing.
or whatever.
Yeah,
No, I get that.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem is Apple and their innovation within the past 5 years, right?
You think it's been lazy innovation? I think it's kind of been lazy.
It's just really lazy. Where's the breakthrough?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is from the consumer looking from the outside in, but these guys were years ago in their jobs, bringing out iPads and doing incredible things with iPhones. And it's now I get
bigger iPads,
bigger
iPhones.
iPhones. And then I get I can send my text message with hearts or fireworks or something. I'm what the hell is going on, Apple? They just won that lawsuit though with Samsung.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure Samsung will sue them back for something, and it's just a cycle of lawsuits.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth mentioning apps like House Party have no use to iOS users anymore. Apps where the specific use was multiple users on a video call at once.
Have you ever used the Netflix feature Watch Together?
No.
Me neither.
Is it dope?
I've never used it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You just said that.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how that actually works. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Are people watching together?
Yeah, I remember old school Xbox days. You used to be able to have watch parties.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't do that anymore. So that would be interesting to see to see what goes down with that. Anyways, transitioning out of that, we're gonna give a small town shout out. Do you have a small town that you want to shout out?
Man, if I'm going to shout out any town, it's going to be my hometown of Middletown, Ohio.
All right, shout out Middletown, Ohio.
Hey,
let's both put a guess on how many people live there, and then see what the approximate population is.
It's about 50,000.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about 50,000 that live in Middletown.
I'm gonna go 45.
Yeah, it could be anywhere from 42 to 50, but I'm going strong 50.
42 to 50, dude. What a precise range. Not 40 to 50. 42 to there's no way there's 41,000 people living in that town.
I guarantee it.
It's got to be somewhere between 42 and 50,000 people. Hold on.
It's a statistically significant guess, Jay.
Let's look this up. Middletown, Ohio, population. 51,605.
Damn.
So you were spot on.
Can't beat it.
I mean, you were about as spot on as it can get without saying 51,605 people.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's, to me, I think you win that one. According to the internet, the Supreme Court backed the baker who turned away the gay couple for a wedding cake.
You asked me earlier, if I had knew what we might be talking about today, and I'm like, that I had actually read that article and that completely slipped my mind. And I had a crazy reaction to that when I read it. I was like, man, what would I do if someone, here was my reaction. I'm a black guy, right? Okay, so if I walk into a baker's shop and they refuse me service because I'm black, well, that's racist, right? And then what happens on top of that is my next questions were, how does the government enforce that, right? Like, what are the actual repercussions of not serving somebody, because of like they're black or for some other discriminatory reason? But then the other half of me went, what if some guy from the KKK walked in my studio and said, yo, make this rap track for me? I don't want to make that rap track for him. Yeah. So it's like, how does this all work? And I don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, going back to it's not a racial issue here. It's a LGBT issue, but
it opens up a can of worms for sure. I think. If you look at the vote, it looks like it was a 7-2 vote, and that was in the Colorado Supreme Court. So Colorado does have anti-discriminatory laws against LGBT. So their ruling with the baker is, I think, a little confusing to some, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there had to have been at least, I feel like, something more to the issue than just that. What that is, I'm not sure. But obviously it's, something that is, I think, worrisome, to say the least, because I feel like you'll see more businesses try to get the balls to start turning away whoever they want and saying, sue me if you don't like it, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's more unfortunate is that it seems to be a general trend in America, right? It's almost like we're digressing in certain aspects of, equal rights for everyone. I don't support that decision from the Supreme Court. I don't, think it's right. But I also don't understand how they actually enforce this stuff, because I think this sort of thing is happening a lot, and it's just, certain cases are being reported. But it's just an unfortunate situation all around. But again, it does bring me back. Like, do I have to serve someone who's in the Klan? Because or do we have laws against, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that you don't have to turn them away. You can just charge a price.
Charge them,
what I'm saying? Everything has a price.
But see, here's the thing.
But does everything have a price? What if that baker said, all right, I'll make your cake for $5,000?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For you, it might be like, all right, I'll make your beat for $4 million or whatever.
Yeah. Like, no, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what is the, like,
I don't know the rules.
What's the full, oh, dude, you can charge whoever.
No, I don't know the rules of like the anti-discrimination and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
The
I
official
mean,
laws, do they vary by state to state?
I think that has more to do with things that are set pricing and not like contract work. Like what?
I was about to say, because now we're in another domain where it's like this is this guy's craft, like making this cake. My craft is making music.
Because that's the thing with contract work. You get a plumber who charges a 50-year-old guy who clearly is like a handyman type, maybe just doesn't have the time. He'll give him a better price than he gives a single mom.
Right.
Because he knows that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's more,
Contract, like it just gets so slippery with contract stuff, which is where I feel like this baker may have had maybe he tried to charge them $5,000. He said, the gay couple said, this is discrimination.
Yeah.
It's discriminatory. Like, you charge the other people this much. Why are you charging me that?
Man.
Because he can. Like, that's just like, you know what I'm saying? Plumbers do that. Like, mechanics will do that.
Yeah.
You would do that if someone that you really, really, really didn't want to work with.
Yeah.
Or I'll just say my schedule's too full.
Oh, we
you know
do
what I'm
that.
saying?
I mean,
and now people listening to this will be like, "Oh man, he told me his schedule was full."
Yeah.
when I tried to do such and such with it, sometimes my schedule is full. All right.
Yeah, I just think all in all, it's just, I mean, it's not right. It's not to be like discriminated against in any form like that, regardless of anything, right? Like your skin color, your sexual orientation, your religious views. It's just not right altogether. And I just, unfortunately, America seems to be moving. The trend has been that people are more vocal in those sorts of beliefs. Like, have you seen where like there's like 7 people running for like political positions?
Yes, I actually did see that. The most number, what is it? The highest number of people running on white supremacy platforms ever.
Who are like associated with
backed by
nationalist groups,
white nationalist groups ever.
Which is like, wow.
I don't think any of them will win.
No.
But the fact that they're coming at, like, the fact that they're like getting bold enough to be like, all right, this is who I am, and
then
I'm gonna run for Congress.
Like, what?
I feel like half of it is almost a joke to them because they know that they'll never win, but half of it is just like, I think people are just like, what in the hell is going on?
I only saw an interview with one person, but he was so deluded that like he genuinely believes, you know what I mean, that he's right. He believes that the Holocaust never happened.
Oh, yeah. The guy in Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like,
it's
what,
like 6 million Jews. 6 million. You're gonna tell me they just disappeared?
Yeah, I was like, what? You're out of your mind.
Yeah, bro. I am gonna tell you they disappeared. You know what? Because that's what happened.
Yeah, like, dude. All right,
moron.
So, nah, man, it's crazy, man. It's just like,
and in Chicago, I'm surprised someone hasn't smacked that man upside the head.
Man, like, luckily Chief Kiefer hasn't run up on him yet.
I think that's the one thing 6ix9ine and Chief Keef could band together on. Is
maybe
just
we bring them together with that.
Sense out of
which
that
I also like. That's crazy, by the way.
Oh my goodness, for real. So for those not in the loop, a rapper named Tekashi 6ix9ine and a rapper called Chief Keef have been in some beef, more or less, and it went down this week in New York.
Yeah.
I guess allegedly Tekashi's people shot at Chief Keef and his people when they were walking into the W Hotel, and no one got shot, fortunately. But I think it just brings up a bigger point in. I think it's just so many things that it brings up that people don't want to talk about. I think it's seeing people get in these stupid. It's a stupid fight.
Yeah, I don't know much about 6ix9ine.
It's because 6ix9ine's talking to Chief Keef's cousin's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got time for that?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're sending shots over that, man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look.
Life's too valuable.
It is, man. It's too fragile, for real, to be shooting over some stuff like that. I mean, when's the last time Chief Keef dropped a track?
I mean, I'm sure.
And by the way, if I got to pick any sides on this, I got to pick Chief Keef's side because, like, it's Chief Keef. Chief Keef's been running the game, up in the Shy for a super long time. So, but look, I was listening to academics last night talk about it, and he was like, look, man, all you guys are doing is building a case for both of you.
Yeah.
Right. Like if one of you goes down or one of your boys goes down that was shooting for you and they tie that back to you, it's a RICO charge. You're looking at some conspiracy charges. So look, let's just stay on the outer rings of it and watch and see what happens. But calm down. Like it's just not worth it.
Did you see where his 6ix9ine's alleged baby mama hacked his Instagram account?
No.
And posted all the DMs between him and her.
What?
Said like, you got me pregnant. And he said, send that to my lawyers and they'll shut your case down tomorrow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well,
she's trying to get some money out of him.
Speaking of baby mamas being exposed.
Uh-oh.
Drake and Pusha.
Oh. All right. So that kind of rolls us into our next topic. So according to the internet, Kanye West and his new album Ye currently hold all the top 7 spots on iTunes and Spotify.
Yep.
I think that's kind of blowing people away considering how he has carried himself the past month or two. But
very conflicting.
What I find so funny is he's a marketing he's just a marketing genius.
Kanye
the whole Kardashian family is.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I don't know. So that album, I've listened to it through and through probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and my favorite song on the album is Wouldn't Leave.
Okay.
And I've listened to that.
Yeah,
like man, it's got to be in the 50s at this point. And just like sonically, that song is absolutely incredible. But he says on there, how Kim comes and she's freaking out, right? Like,
yeah,
which leads me to believe, like, I don't know how orchestrated all of this was. Like, I feel like Kanye did go through something. He did have that breakdown, or I love how he phrased it as a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And like some of this stuff was just straight off the top. Like I watched this video where T.I. and him were in the studio.
Yeah.
Recording.
The Ye versus the People, yeah.
Right. And you can hear them just like having a dialogue about it. And the whole, the way that song is crafted, it's like one side versus another.
Mm-hmm.
People don't give Kanye, I think Kanye has a voice and he has to be very careful because at times he can be irresponsible with that voice, but people a lot of times don't give Kanye the chance they would give other people to explain themselves or make something clear as the way they want to present it, right?
The thing I was talking to my wife about this, and I said, whether we realize it or not, what he did when he put on that Make America Great when he put on that Make America Great Again hat, right? There's one person in this entire world that every single person is watching. Every person.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's Donald Trump.
For sure.
And he aligned himself with Donald Trump, gained 14 million followers on Twitter in one day.
Really?
Yes. And then diss Trump on his album.
Oh, shit.
I could have me and Naomi Campbell and still want me a Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, no, look.
Dude.
It's genius.
I feel like he tricked Trump into retweeting him and sharing him and pumping him up. And then this album comes out and Trump's probably like,
yeah, but what was Kim doing in Trump's office? Didn't they have a meeting or something?
Yeah, she was trying to get, I forget her name at the moment, but she is a first time drug offender. She's a non-violent drug offender.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she's serving life in jail and she's like 65 or 70 years old.
Trying to get her out.
Yeah. She watched a documentary about her and she felt moved to try to get her out. And Trump's trying to use his, what was he trying to do? He's trying to use a pardon on himself, essentially. Trying to get himself out of trouble, which is the same thing Nixon tried to do.
Yeah.
But with the Nixon case, the Supreme Court or someone said essentially you can't be the judge to your own case. You can't be the judge on your own trial.
Okay.
So it's not gonna work. Like,
okay.
I don't know if people realize that or not. But it just ain't gonna.
Not gonna fly.
It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Circling all that back around to baby mamas and Drake.
Man, that beef, man, like that. It was a very short-lived beef. But it was pretty vicious. Pusha T really came out the gates
Oh,
Like, and look, let me be real. Like, I'm a mad Drake supporter,
yeah.
and I'm just sitting back looking at it all. Like, man, like, what's Drake's play here?
I think if I recall right, you played that last big Drake song that came out like 100 times in one day.
Yeah, God's plan.
God's
we
plan.
had that on our on
He
all
played
of our
it
social media
100
channels.
straight times.
Yo, man, that song was dope when it dropped, man. Yeah, that beef was
I just thought it's very convenient how they go on the record to say that they have a song that could have ended Kanye's career, but they're not going to release it. How convenient, right? Here's the thing.
I mean,
Kanye can't even end his own career. He said everything.
Yeah. That's why Kim was flipping out. It's funny though how in this beef it got so vicious so rapidly that like the dad
red flag
stepped
got
in.
raised.
Like the dad stepped in and were like, "Yo, you got to stop this." And I was like, "Dang, bro!" Like Jay Prince coming in, even Ye coming back on the back end, being like, "Yo, this is done."
That's what. But why? What I'm saying is, if you're Drake, right, and you're in a beef with Meek, and then you carry Meek while he's down, why are you trying to raise a white flag now?
Drake's not raising a white flag.
And then, yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
How? Drake,
guarantee it, because he wasn't gonna come back after Pusha. He was gonna come after Kanye.
apparently,
He was gonna
Drake
try
is-
to drag Kanye
No,
into
no.
this.
So apparently, Drake is sitting on a career-ending track for Pusha.
But that's what okay.
So maybe it's from both sides. But look,
But that's what I was
the dad
saying.
stepped in. The dads of the industry stepped in. Jay Prince, right? Drake, he came in and is like, "Yo, this has to stop. Do not respond back to this. Like the lines have been crossed." And it's the consensus in the industry and in the game that the lines have been too far gone.
So what would be a career-ending diss at Pusha?
Whatever dirt Drake has on him, I don't know. I have no clue.
What would make you not follow or listen to him anymore? That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know if he
saying.
put
That's
on
what
a-
I'm
if he
saying.
Put on a make America great again hat. Like,
No, that.
I don't know. Like I don't know what I don't know. Can
Do you really
can that
think
really?
that there's anything career-ending?
No.
Where they
I
get,
mean,
oh, he's gay.
nah. That's
We just
not-
talked about that. Who cares, bruh?
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't know what they're. But like, I gotta be honest. It has to be somewhat of a blow to Drake what Pusha released about his baby mom and everything like that. Like nobody knew about that.
That's
Like,
true.
that- you're
For a kid
messing
to
with
be-
his
How old
family
is he?
life.
2 or 3?
I have no clue. Yeah,
And then,
Like-
yeah.
bruh. Like he exposed his a whole family. That's pretty devastating.
Okay, if you're Drake, why do you hide that kid?
I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't look good, like if it makes him seem less attractive to the masses or it just happened before. I don't know.
That's whack.
It's so whack. I would never do anything like that. Like,
That kid's gonna have so much resentment for him.
that kid probably doesn't have a memory right now. But
Of course not. But
I don't know what relationship he had with the baby mom to where
doesn't
she
matter. It's
was.
still his kid.
No, I'm saying to
Yeah.
where she's like okay with that, or if he was actually spending time with the kid and we didn't know. Like, I don't
That's
know.
true.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I guess we don't know. He may have been spending every other weekend with his kid
yeah.
and all of that stuff. I guess we don't know.
She stayed quiet though, so it had to be
She had to have been getting that God's plan money.
Yeah, she was getting paid, which, let's not talk about the payoff between money and a relationship with your child. But I guess my point is there had to be a good relationship to where she was okay with everything and he was doing right by the child, or at least we would hope so.
Like she was a porn star, right?
Beforehand, apparently, yeah. I don't know.
So
for sure, but-
there's got to be some good payoff there, right? She
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
have to do that anymore for a job. She
Yeah.
just gets to be Drake's baby mom.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess that's kind of what you hope for. Like, anybody would hope for it, I guess.
She married rich.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't marry, but same thing.
Had a baby by Rich.
She married to his bank account for the next 15 years. So
Yeah, basically. So,
whatever. So the last one for the day, according to the internet, Donald Trump has de-invited the Philadelphia Eagles from visiting the White House.
yeah, how fucked up is that, bro?
Like, first of all, anytime you de-invite someone, that's just pretty rude. All right, let's just get that out of the way. But
I mean, I personally just don't fuck with Donald Trump. Like, I just don't. And the whole thing with the NFL and Donald Trump, and how they basically took this, very relevant and important thing that Colin Kaepernick was trying to bring to light, talking about, like police brutality, talking about racial injustice in America. They use rhetoric to spin it and make it about the anthem when it had nothing to do with anything about the anthem at all. And then you have the NFL, who's recently come out and saying they support Donald Trump, and basically saying that players now have to, stand for the anthem or their teams get fined, which I thought was a good play by the NFL to get their narrative across right, because now it's not about the individual getting fined, whatever, I'll pay that money. Now your team gets fined, and it has to be some astronomical amount.
The person that I would actually like to talk to the most in this conversation is not Colin Kaepernick, is not Donald Trump. It's actually the veteran who told Colin Kaepernick to kneel instead of just sit down on the bench while the anthem was playing.
Really?
He had a conversation with a veteran, a young guy, if I recall correctly, who actually who said, what you're doing is disrespectful to the anthem. I get your point, but what you're doing is disrespectful. Here is like an alternative. And I would like to see if he still stands behind that, considering everything that has happened from that recommendation, or less.
It's an interesting perspective. I mean, that's...
Do you think Colin Kaepernick will win this lawsuit against the NFL?
It's going to be fought for
collusion.
No, it's going to be
they're colluding against him.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, but how long is that going to take place, right? Like that's going to be a lawsuit that goes on for years.
Yeah,
years and years and years. And
do you think he'll ever play football again?
No, unfortunately not. In the NFL.
In the CFL or anywhere.
Maybe somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But not in the NFL. There's too much. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah,
these teams are looking out for their bottom line. You're not going to sign Colin Kaepernick if you think half your fan base is going to walk away.
Yeah. So, I mean, circling back to the subject at hand, would you, as a black man, visit the White House after you have reached the pinnacle of your sport, right? You've won the championship. Do you think that is...
With Donald Trump in office, absolutely not.
Okay. See, when this happened, I think it made me realize, like, these guys are like the best athletes in the world, right?
Yeah.
And they take time out of their day to visit the White House. It just, maybe it's more or less this president and this administration that made me realize, like, how it's more like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of things are just ceremonial and like, oh yeah, here's a pat on the back type of thing. But like, there's this weird line, I think, between sports and politics that people only want to cross when it's convenient. And I think that's the one. Like, kneeling for the anthem, they don't want to cross sports and politics there, right?
Right.
But like, oh yeah, let's parade to the White House and take pictures and be happy and be merry. And like,
they want to cross the line when it's convenient.
Exactly. And Tom Brady didn't go to the White House.
Right.
But Donald Trump didn't cancel on the Patriots.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just infuriating.
Exactly. So what's the difference? Right?
Well, what's the makeup of the teams, right? How many more black people are on the Eagles than on the
I think it's
Patriots?
More or less why they decided not to go.
Right.
And
they were only going to send a smaller congregation.
Because I feel like Tom Brady said he was like sick or something. And Tom Brady